The German look. A light snow fell on the sidewalks of Berlin as I walked to school the next morning. But at least snow was all that was falling. Half the buildings on the street were roofless, hollowed-out husks, victims of the relentless Allied bombings. Bombing Berlin was easy. It was the capital of Germany. Unlike the secret engine factory I discovered the location of, the Allies knew right where Berlin was. The British and the Americans took turns dropping bombs on the city, the British at night, the Americans during the day, sending us scrambling for the air raid shelters every few hours. But even after spending 2 hours in the middle of the night below ground, showered by grit from the concrete ceilings and feeling the dull thud of the explosions rattle their teeth, the people of Berlin were up and ready to face the day. They emerged from their houses grim and determined. Or maybe grim and resigned. Some Germans must have gotten up every day and thought, Hitler's right. We're the master race. Soon we'll rule the world. But there had to be more people, lots more, who got up every day and thought, if I just keep my head down and do what I'm supposed to do, maybe I'll make it through this in one piece. There was nothing to do but go to work for Nazi Germany, for Hitler. To refuse meant arrest, and arrest meant the concentration camps. Everybody knew the concentration camps were awful places where awful things happened, but nobody ever talked about it. That way they could pretend it wasn't really happening. People talked about plenty of other stuff they weren't supposed to, but only after a quick glance over their shoulder to make sure no one else was listening. Everybody did it so much there was even a special word for it, Deutscher Blick, the German look. You did the German look right before you said Germany might be losing the war, or complained about the food rations, or told a joke about Hitler. Because someone was always listening, always waiting to turn you in to the Nazi secret police. Always ready to rat you out, to prove how loyal they were, even if they had said the very same thing yesterday. The Berlin I walked through on the way to school was a quiet, suspicious city. People kept their eyes down, whispered if they had to talk, crossed the street to avoid having to give the Hitler salute to someone they knew in case they didn't say Heil Hitler loud enough or raise their arm high enough. Nobody wanted to call attention to themselves. Nobody wanted to stand out. Nobody wanted the Nazis to notice them. Just walking to school was like trying to walk past a sleeping bear. I had a test coming up that day, but I wasn't too worried about it. Nazi school was a joke. We spent most of the time doing physical education, playing games, running races, exercising. What little time we spent in the classroom was spent listening to the teacher tell us all about the glorious, and short, history of the Nazi Party, or teaching us how to tell German Aryans from subhumans. The history stuff I always aced. I have a good memory for things, like the secret numbers I'd read off the playing card. All I have to do is see or hear something one time, and it sticks in my head like a song you can't get rid of. It had helped me pick up the German language and helped me memorize answers for tests. But it had made me a kind of a freak, too. And when you were an Irish kid at an English boarding school like I was when my da was stationed in London, being a freak got you beat up. Daily. Here in Berlin, it might get me killed.